Tweety was definitely gay.
We still don't know if Tweety. I'm convinced Tweety got to be trans because we don't know what. No,
Tweety's a boy.
Nobody. I don't think Tweety's a boy.
Tweety Bird is a boy. Tweety Bird is a boy. Tweety Bird is just a femboy.
Is it gay? Probably. We don't know.
Yes, Tweety Bird is gay.
We don't know. See, questions.
A gay bird always looking for a pussy. Sylvester, like, y'all can't.
What's up, guys? Hello! Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who I am, it's your girl Chelsea, and I am here with my roommate. Would you like to introduce yourself to the world?
My name is 2AM Ricky. I'm a recording artist. I'm a songwriter, model, all that great shit.
Etc. etc. So I am here today because I have decided that I'm going to start doing more LGBT friendly videos. I did one earlier this year about studs dating straight women or lesbians dating straight women. So now I am here to ask some questions since you are trans.
Yes.
I decided to just ask some general questions that I've seen on social media and online and things like that, because the main thing that I tend to see, which it honestly kind of bothers me a little bit, is that people tend to say that they feel like people that are trans, whether it's male to female or female to male, aren't technically gay. You see what I'm saying? Because it's like, you know, because since you've like transitioned, it's like now whenever you get into relationships, it's now like, I guess like hetero presenting.
Yes.
If that makes sense. So I've heard that a lot, and I don't necessarily agree with that because I know trans people that date the same sex or whatever. So it just kind of like varies. I mean, have you ever had somebody have you ever had any issues with people in the LGBT community like discriminating against you?
Hell yeah. I deal with that all the time, or I'll deal with situations where it might be like I'm dating a lesbian woman and we get serious, and now she's battling the issue of, if I'm with you, am I still a lesbian?
Yeah.
And that's a common problem. To me personally, I don't believe that transitioning alters you being gay.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I was born a female. I identify as a male. But whoever dates me is full-blown aware that I'm born a female with whatever female parts still remain. Yeah. Like that should be common knowledge to them.
Yeah.
So a lot of people just clearly mistake gender identity and sexual preference. Those two are two completely different things.
Yeah.
So you can date a trans man as a lesbian woman and still be a lesbian.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're still a lesbian woman.
Yeah.
You're just dating someone who identifies as male.
Yeah.
Just like you can be a trans man and date men.
Yep.
And you would be straight, like, or however you like to label yourself. Like that's however a trans person labels their identity. That's a personal thing. Like that's just however you personally choose to throw the word out. But overall, it does not change anything. Yeah.
Because I think that's the one thing. I know I noticed that a lot when I was in college, because it was at the time it was this like drag queen that I absolutely adore, and she was dating she was transitioned. And she was dating a stud. And it became a big deal around the little small gay club that I was circulating with, because all anybody kept thinking about was, okay, how are y'all fucking? Like that was
ain't nobody's business.
It's nobody's business, but it was like that was like the main. It was like people had an issue with that, because now they're thinking, okay, like if that's what's happening, then it's like, you know, is it like the same thing? Exactly, because it's just like, and then like every time somebody asks, I'd be like, dude, but it doesn't really matter. Like, there's like so many like different aspects to the LGBT community. Like it's like,
and if y'all ain't never been on Pornhub lately, there's so many ways to fuck. So
like a lot.
People to open their minds up.
Because I know I'm the only person that be looking at one thing and then later on be like, how the hell I get here? How did we get here? Like,
listen,
how did I end up over here?
I literally have watched porn sometimes just to be like, how? Like
yes.
Not for the masturbation, just for the
like
curiosity of it.
Curiosity, like educational, for like, how Like, how do we do this?
Like, I'm trans, I know how I'm fucking, how y'all fucking? What
it's listen, if you just want a quick little education, like, go on Pornhub. That's a whole, like, sector of it. It's there. Like, it is there for your education if you just want to just know, because I know I was one of those people when I was younger. I used to, cause you remember there was like this rumor about like Sierra back in the day that she was like a hermaphrodite. So
she used to break my heart because I loved her.
I love Sierra, but because of that rumor, I think that was my first introduction to anybody trans was B. Scott on YouTube. This was before B. Scott started to be as big as she is now and started to do interviews and stuff. She was just doing YouTube videos and just being hilarious as hell. So that was my first introduction into anybody being trans, and then from there I would see different aspects of it. But I personally, because I'm one of the person, I don't like to assume things. I like to get educated first and then like have discussions and ask questions if I don't know anything. So that's pretty much what I did. I just got on Google and got to looking up stuff. This was even like before Pornhub or even Pornhub was even invented then. So it was like there was no where you could go to get that type of information, because especially back in like the mid 2000s, the early 2000s, there was no education about that at all. Hell, people weren't even cool with lesbians and gays, let alone, you know, the other parts of the community. So it was just very, I had to get educated, and it's not really that hard nowadays to get educated, because you can Google stuff, YouTube, there's plenty of videos on YouTube for you to do that. It's just, it's no excuse for the ignorance. So I guess my next question was, when did you know that you were trans?
I always knew when I was younger, because I realized like there were certain things that didn't sit right. So for instance, I remember teaching myself how to pee standing up before I could pee sitting down. Or I would do shit like, if my grandma and my aunts would put a skirt on me, I would purposely, like, and this is like age 3 and below, find scissors or something that like literally would cut my clothes, or would be in kindergarten and would purposely piss on myself so I could go steal the little boy clothes. Like just any and everything as a child to find a way to not fit into that mold. I'm from North Carolina, so I never saw a trans man. You feel me? Like I never knew what that was.
A lot of us did, especially growing up in the South.
I was about 17 and I went to my first gay club. And at that time I saw a drag show. So that was my first time seeing it. And then when I saw them change out, and then some of them wasn't changing, they still had beards and shit with a sports bra on, I was like, oh, shit. What's happening? So I really went to Google. Like I literally started Googling the things about myself I always knew. Like I used to literally, like, it gave me anxiety for somebody to compliment me. It made me uncomfortable to have to acknowledge anything feminine that dealt with me. I went through a period where my parents forced me to be feminine, and that literally drove me into like an insane depression. So I just started Googling like, what does all of this mean? And Google was like, you're probably transgender.
Of course, Dr. Google is always there for us. So
I was like, okay, I got gender dysphoria, Google. What does that mean? And Google told me I was trans.
Google told me I was trans. Just like Google be telling us everything. They'll be like to self-diagnose ourselves. So I guess with that, because I know that you probably heard about Dwayne Wade's daughter.
Yes.
So, and the responses that social media have responded. Now, I think this was when the Shade Room had posted Lil Boosie's response. And everybody was like up in arms about it and was pissed about it. And I came home there. Literally, the only thing I said was that, like, y'all, for one, Boosie talk like that. I don't know why y'all acting like, you know, he just talk ignorant like that. And then 2, I was just like, I get where he's coming from, because he sounds very similar to how a lot of our parents presented, I guess, like, came at the LGBT community in general. So I was saying that, like, I get what he's saying. He's definitely saying it in the wrong way. But it's like, to him, because the only thing that crossed his mind when he heard Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union was okay with their daughter basically, I guess, like, presenting feminine. The only thing that he heard was, oh shit, that they're gonna like chop his dick off, or he's gonna have like bottom surgery. Which is not the case, because
at all.
From me saying that, because I literally had just got comments that, hey, come from a lesbian, I get what he's saying. He's definitely saying it wrong, but I do understand why people freak out, because that's like the first thing that comes to people's minds when they hear trans. They think like all these surgeries, like top surgery and bottom surgery, they're just thinking that that's what it is, and that's definitely not what it is. There's a lot of steps that go into doing anything. So I think that them just allowing her to dress as she feels is perfectly fine. If I was a parent and I had a child that came to me like that, I think that would be my first step in general. Would be like, okay, I'll let you be like clothes wise, I'm more than fine if that's what you want to do. Maybe when you get a little older and start hitting puberty, we can start to look into different like hormone treatments. Because I know, like, I don't know if you watch the show on TLC called I Am Jazz, but like she was, I think to record, she's the youngest on record that has came out as trans still. So her parents allowed her to start taking hormones very, very early, before she even hit puberty, which a lot of people didn't agree with. So how do you feel about, I guess, trans children? And like, when is a good time to, in your opinion, now that you've taken hormones, what would be a good age to start maybe trying to start doing that?
That depends on the child.
Mm-hmm.
That depends on the child. There's a lot of therapy that's, let me say this, supposed to go into getting on.
Yeah.
Supposed to go into getting on hormone therapy.
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to go to therapy for at least a year before you start testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we live in America, there's black market, there's Planned Parenthood, there's lots of ways to get around it that people take the loophole.
Yeah.
I personally feel like it depends on that individual. I personally would put my child through therapy. Mm-hmm. First and foremost.
Yeah.
I would make my child at least do therapy for at least 2 years.
Yeah.
Before we begin to consider that.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of
sense.
effects that come with having to take hormone therapy that me, as a grown adult, I still can't control sometimes. Yeah. So I know as a child,
that's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But as far as accepting my child's transition, I honestly feel like, even with my own life, I feel like if my parents would have been more accepting, I would have became a more healthier person.
Yes.
Because there's so much that goes into psychologically having to battle, knowing that you're transgender, knowing you have this gender dysphoria, but being forced to still present yourself in another way. Yeah. So now that I'm grown and I'm living in my truth, I still have to fight those demons because of what other people forced onto me. Yeah. Because of their lack of education, their own fear of judgment of others. Yeah. Them just not wanting to accept reality. Yeah. Because now that I've transitioned and I'm an adult and I take care of myself, now everyone's open, like, yeah, we not surprised. We all knew. We all, you know. We just didn't want to accept it.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people in the LGBT community have at some point. We all have like that moment where our parents or our loved ones just will not accept what the reality is. Luckily for me, I'm a feminine presenting lesbian, so I didn't have to go through that. However, I was a Rainbow Bright femme back in the day, so that is what the problem was, and my dad was not happy about that. Anytime I would have like a necklace or rainbow, I remember I used to go to Dollar Tree and buy like those little rainbow lays and keep in my car. One day he saw them, and I kid you not, walked in my car and snatched them out, came in the house tripping, yelling and shit. It was insane. But because I personally came out when I was 14, so I was like one of those, like, because you know how there's always like the two studs in like the high school. It was like the two studs and me. It was like three of us. We were the like open lesbians back in like high school, and I've never been like ashamed, but it was just like, I still think that my parents, particularly my moms, I never came out to my dad. Like, I've never actually just said I'm gay to my father yet. I think I want to be a completely like out, which I am now. Like, he doesn't support me financially, but I was waiting till I was a good distance away. I'm still not a good distance away for me to be like, this is what it is. But I did tell my mom. I was forced to tell my mom, actually, because of my cousin, and it was just a lie. But I told her at 18 via email, and she said that she still loved me and we'll talk about it later. We've never talked about it later. And I was 18, I'm about to be 27 now. We've never sat down and had a full-blown conversation about it, but it's like, I don't know if it's really clicked in her head that this wasn't a phase. Like, but we never talk about it, so I don't really know.
My parents' conversation was hilarious. Like, now that I think back, like, that shit was hilarious to me. Like, y'all niggas tripping. Y'all niggas tripping.
Like it's just really hard. So like, okay, so me and you are both like music artists. So because we were talking about this a little bit off camera. So when it comes to the music industry, even though it's ever changing, a lot of the way that we get our music, consume our music, and a lot of way that artists come out is completely different than what it was even just 5 years ago. Because even when I was in high school, it was still the typical, you make a demo, you go to a record label, try to do it that way, and then they would, if they wanted to, would sign you and then do A&R, and then you would come out as a package, if that makes sense. But nowadays it's not like that. It's the reverse, to where you have to build your own audience, you have to make your own music, you have to do all of this stuff just for labels to even kind of peep you, and then kind of go from there. But then what a lot of people have to figure out is, do you want to compromise yourself to conform to what the industry is? Because I mean, with everybody doing stuff differently, it's like a lot of people just choose to still be independent because record labels are going to do what they're going to do. They're going to sign you and try to flip some shit, change shit around, but still make you into that package. They just aren't doing fully of the work, if that makes sense. It's like they're taking this toy and they're like, oh, I like this toy, but I think I want to change its clothes, like it's a Barbie or something. So with you being trans and you being an artist, have you ran into any major issues with trying to get your music out there and you get noticed and things like that?
I built myself up from the beginning of my career. I'm now at a place where I'm able to work with major industry producers, able to have sessions with, signed artists, able to sit down with VPs of record labels and discuss deals and negotiations. And the number one issue that people have when it comes to me is my transition. The fear of people not accepting it, or we love your music, we love this, we love that, but there's this aspect of you that we have to hide. I literally have been in situations where I've had to walk away from a deal with the VP offering me a deal on the spot, and had to walk away because in general it was like, are these people signing you because they like you fully? Or are they signing you because you're about to get exploited? I've had situations of me doing interviews like this, like things I normally did on my own before all of these bigger things started happening. And as soon as this shit go on YouTube, like when this is over with, I promise you I'm gonna get 3 phone calls cussing me out. I promise you, I already know. I know who the people gonna be. I'm gonna get 3 phone calls cussing me out. Because their issue is, right, I'm in a place where you can't publicize who you are. You can't discuss being trans. Now, I'm me, so I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do because I'm Ricky and that's just who the fuck Ricky is. But I'm in a position where it's like you have to choose between what you worked your ass off for and standing for who you are. And it's come in forms of, well, you can't do interviews like this. So me doing this, I'm gonna get cussed out. But I can do an interview with Complex talking about being trans and come out. It's really so. The music industry overall has always been against the LGBT.
They have,
and they definitely have no clue what to do with the Tea Party.
No, it's like they don't even know what to do with the L or the G.
They don't know what to do with any of it. They don't know what to do with the Tea Party.
They don't know. It's just like, because I can name I'm pretty sure you can too, how many gazillion artists that are really good, that have gotten on television, have gotten national recognition, and they just cannot. It's almost like they like can't get past this ceiling of I'm gay or I'm trans or like whatever, and it's so insane to me, because I noticed that shit back when, I think the first time I really noticed that was an issue was when I was like 15. And then I remember saying that when I got to a good place in the industry, I wanted to create a label that would sign us, because it's like, it doesn't make any sense that you got all these people with good music that it's like the labels are like, well maybe if you changed this or you did this or you didn't say that, or we just keep that under wraps. Like that's just like insane, because like even like for instance, like I'll just use somebody I've worked with. I work with Saya, so everybody knows how dope the fuck she is. Like she's been signed several times with people. She done got on national television. Like she's been in The Purge, y'all. She's been in so many, like, it doesn't make any sense how she's done this shit for like almost a decade plus, and then Young and May comes out and just does that shit. I don't care what anybody says. I love Young and May. I love Katora, but listen, to me, there's so many other people that opened the doors that did not get those recognitions. And Sai is definitely one of those people that should have gotten at least a nod or a Instagram live with or something.
But that also goes to the LGBT artists. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Like, how much respect do you have for your own community? So like, for instance, I was at the studio last night, and there was an artist that was signed to a major label, and they were discussing how, nobody knew they were a part of the community. They don't get to perform at Pride. They don't get to go to any LGBT-based things. They were just asking me about it, and I'm like, go for it. Just do it. Just do it. Do it. And I think the issue is so many people are scared. Like, in all honesty, in my personal opinion, I think Young and May cool too. Yeah. I feel like she should have given that nod off when she was given that title. Yeah, because she should have given that nod off. Because we all knew the brat was gay. Right. We all knew. We been knew. Good God, I knew a long time ago. Cause she was my first crush, y'all. Okay. She was my first. You got the brat. You have Queen Latifah. Mm-hmm. You had Saya. Yeah. Like, you have so many people, so many women who came before you, but you were able to gain off of a title that really these women made. Oh, definitely. Like, because y'all. Because Saya was the first stud rapper who I saw televised. I saw that shit. I'm just saying, hope for me. Like, Lord knows I squealed like a motherfucker. There's hope. In college, like, oh shit, Saya on oxygen. What the fuck? I was losing my shit. Actually, you know who else I thought about that also paved the way that doesn't get recognition? Tyra B. Because Tyra was like, I need to interview her because it's almost like you could tell when she was fighting with the labels, because like from when she first came out, when she did Still in Love, to like when she did Giving Me a Rush, the Giving Me a Rush video was a dead ass giveaway. She was like a stud, because you can kind of tell she was like trying to switch it up and still trying to be herself a little bit. And then now it's like, but I would even throw her in that category because she was signed to a major label, and I'm pretty sure that might have ended because of her trying to be masculine presenting. So it's like, even with me, like, there's a lot of places where I'm being told, like, I'll get told, listen, hey, you gotta be like this, you feel me? Like, when we get in this room, these is gonna be some masculine ass men, so mentally prepare yourself. And I'm just like, I can't. Like, but it's because people in the industry are, and it's not their fault. It's not. It's not their fault. It's just that most people have never had to experience, first of all, a trans person personally. Mm-hmm. Right? Most people haven't. And then a lot of people, you might have a lesbian cousin or the gay cousin or something like that. But y'all don't never sit down and actually talk to them. Mm-hmm. You don't never really sit down and ask them any questions. So when it comes to the music industry, they don't know what to do because they're not educated. Yeah. It's just simply they're not educated. And because they're not educated, they do what everyone in society does, and they make moves based off of fear because of lack of education. Yeah. So it's easier to control it by limiting it than it is to just educate ourselves and be open, because we're more concerned about what this person is going to think or what that person is going to say than the actual artist as a full package. Which is, like, literally the music should always come first. Like, for real. Because it could be a 5-year-old child. If that 5-year-old can sing or can spit bars, then that's all that matters to me, in my personal opinion. But it's almost like the industry just, you can tell, is ran by a bunch of old white prunes, and I'm just being honest, because it's like they don't know what to do with change in general. Because, like, think about how long it took for them to accept that physical copies of music was no longer going to be a thing. Think about how long it took for them to accept that streaming is now the new way that people get their music. Nobody's buying iTunes anymore. You know what I mean? So think about how long it took for them just to accept shit
that is moving in the industry, let alone how to deal with their artists. Because for a long time, like I said, the formula was you would maybe get a little buzz in your local area and you would make a demo and you would go to these labels and you would hound these labels every day and try to get in, you know, having to get your demo or like whatever the case may be. And that's how you would get signed. That's always been the formula up until literally recently, about maybe like 5 years ago, honestly. It hasn't really even been that long. But now it's like these labels are starting to realize, oh shit, like these kids can fucking go and get a microphone off of hell anywhere and make a beat or make whatever, upload it to SoundCloud, and boom, like you got recognition. It's literally has been just that simple. And I think that the labels don't know what to do, because shit's popping up so much every day that they don't know what to do. And I don't know, because you may know, but I don't know if they're still doing it to where like you get the record label deal where you're signed for 7 albums. I don't know if that's still a thing or not.
It all depends. It all depends.
Okay, because I know that was an industry standard for a long time, which is why like
because there's a lot of artists who are independent. So like for instance, I'm independent, right? I have my own 50-50 with an independent label. So when I meet with major labels, you're offering me a distribution deal.
Yeah.
There are still artists who, like, because of the internet, because of us being able to literally make and create our own avenue and our own lane. Yes, there are artists who are just going to the major labels for that, 7 album deal. There are artists who are independent and they're like, look, give me distribution, give me this, give me that. Let me halfway. So it all really just depends on the packaging of it itself. But as far as the industry being able to accept it, it's gonna take artists putting their foot down. Like, my team gets frustrated with me all the time and I don't be caring. Because y'all aren't like, and it's not like I don't be caring, like I'm being disrespectful.
But that's necessary to do, because like I said, that's why a lot of good people that we know have not had that national recognition yet, because they did go in there and they did put their foot down and they was like, I'm not gonna change how I look, how I act. I'm not gonna hide who I am, just especially not nowadays, because it's not necessary. Like I said, I know people, like I said, that could drop a single right now that sell quicker than any of these major artists right now, because they have that constant fan support, which is pretty much all you need to be an artist. Like if you got a team, if you got your fan support, that's literally all you need. Because I've known people that are on YouTube, for Christ's sakes, that can sell out shows on tour, like can literally go on tour right now and sell out shows, and they're independent. So it's like it's not necessary for you to have to like compromise anymore. Like
I view it as it's the same feeling as when you came out to your parents. You gotta put your foot down enough to let them know, look, this is me. This the shit that's gonna fly. This the shit that ain't.
Yeah, basically.
If you don't like it, punish me. Like, do what you got to do, but this part ain't gonna change. You literally have to have the same demeanor as when you had coming out to your parents. When I have to have conversations with my team about my transition, about the shit that I'm comfortable with, about the shit I'm not comfortable with, when they tell me don't do coming out videos and stuff like this, I do it anyways. I have to explain. Yes, you have to set a boundary, then you also have to educate people. So like, for instance, someone might view this as a coming out interview.
Both of us gay as fuck, and I've been said that.
Listen, I can tell y'all, a coming out story has more depth and emotion and detail.
And sometimes there's tears. There's just a lot going on.
Like, I'm telling you, when I do my coming out interview, that shit.
It's a lot, it's just a lot.
It's a lot.
That's why I'm just like.
They don't understand that, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault. It's just literally like, you're an alien who just landed on a planet and they like what you bring to the table, but they don't understand shit about you. And they're uncomfortable with it and they don't get it, and they're really trying to figure out how to navigate it. And it honestly makes their job harder, because we have this great package, but then here's this catch-22 in there.
It's just like, do we open it? Do we not open it? It's like, what are we like doing with this?
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy? I think that the same rule almost applies to just people in our own community. Because I've been saying for a long time, like, it doesn't make any sense for us to have discrimination within our own community. That goes for the LGBT community, that goes for the Black community, that doesn't make, because all that does is harm us as a whole. And we want the nation to take us serious as a group. So it's like we can't have these little weird, like, just like I said, like I've corrected people, because I know one time, I kid you not, almost got into a fight with all the guys in the kitchen. Because for those y'all don't know all the restaurants, please don't send your food back, because everybody in there is a convict. I'm not even gonna lie to you. They don't do background checks. Just don't do it.
I'm just no more. Just you told me that. Like,
no, this is for any restaurant. I'm telling you, from being a server, they're all convicts. But there was this this was my senior year in college, and there was this I think she was like maybe like a freshman or a sophomore, and she was feminine presenting, but she was still clearly like a male. Like, it was just like you could like tell she was trying to like change her outward appearance when she got to college, because she couldn't do it in high school. So when I first met her, I thought she was amazing, fabulous. We clicked off. So she was just like my little baby around. Like, every time I see her, we would talk, chit chat. And then one day she came with her family to Cheddar's, and I was still like I normally do, like, hey girl, how you doing? What's up? When I tell you, the whole goddamn kitchen and shit erupted because they heard me say her, and was like, what? No, hell no, that's a motherfucking nigga. I kid you not, I went smooth off in that kitchen, because it drives me crazy when you can clearly tell this is a feminine or masculine presenting person, and you on purpose mispronounce a pronoun. That pisses me off. I went off, and I didn't give a shit, because I was just like, no. I said, no, what you're not gonna do is that. Like, this is she, her, however you want. This is a girl. Like, that's just how that is gonna be. That has always pissed me off, because I was just like, that's so disrespectful. Like, I've even corrected my own mother, for Christ's sakes, and we love watching TLC together. So, and then like me and mom had discussions about when like Caitlyn Jenner came out, and we had to have that discussion, and I even corrected my own mother and was like, no, even though I make her watch the Kardashians, so I was like, we know this was Bruce. It's Bruce. But this is Caitlyn now, so this is she. Like, this is how we're gonna do that. So I've done that even with my own parents. Like, and it's just like, I feel like the LGBT community, like, we have got to stop trying to put gender norms and heterosexual norms in our own situation. Because it's almost like I get the psychological of it, because you're just trying to make some sort of normalcy out of what's going on.
But then you can't, because if you look at the damn LGBT community, ain't no normalcy in that.
There is no normalcy.
Like, in all honesty,
it's none.
From a transgender perspective, you know who we get the most heat from? Lesbians.
I believe it. I believe it.
Lesbians.
Yeah.
And it don't make sense, because it's like, okay, you're judging me because I'm born the same way you was, but I identify as male, and I'm able to live in my truth.
Yeah.
But you got on boxes too.
Like, to me,
what are we arguing about?
No,
because the only difference is you doing the same shit I'm doing. I just identify differently. We doing the same shit.
Yeah, it's just like it's like everybody looking for bitches out here in these streets. So it's just like, it's like what is the problem? Like, that's, like I said, like, hell, and that's really, because I don't hear it most from gay males. Like, and you hear it from mostly like lesbians, and that's like, it doesn't matter what race. That's just any lesbians, period. It's like and I think it almost has to do with us just being females too, because it's like girls just in general
are catty,
are real catty, and we tend to basically like judge ourselves off of, like, basically see each other as competition, which is not really our fault, because growing up, like, as females, we're taught like we have to compete for men and all kind of shit, because we have to compete for everything. There's like jobs, whatever. So it's like our nature to just see other women or people as competition, which it sucks, but I think that's what it is that like we see each other as competition. So even though you're clearly yourself, you're clearly we're not even like competition at all. It's like they see that as competition, which doesn't make any sense, because that's like you seeing if you want to like masculine, like butch ass, dyke ass studs, and you see a pretty boy getting all the girls, like why would you?
That's why they don't like me.
It's just like,
I can't help listening.
Yeah.
I get heat from studs. I really don't get it from the women. I get it from studs, and I get it from other trans men. because I have a feminine presenting face.
Yeah.
But if you ever see my parents, literally both of my parents look feminine.
Yeah. I mean,
both sides of my family down to the men look feminine.
I know regular men that have feminine faces. Like I know literally regular, because there's been times I've been out and I've seen a guy and I'm thinking it's a stud. I kid you not. But like, oh, okay, okay, she cute. And then he talks like, no, that's a man. That is a man. And in my head, I'm like, like, but I mean, that should not have anything to do with it. And I think that was the whole point of me wanting to make this video, that I wanted to like have a conversation and let people know that like, it's okay to ask questions. You can do this in your own home. Like, just sit down, have conversations. All of the knowledge that I have has been between me looking stuff up and actually now having, I think I have like 3 trans men friends now. So it's like, just for me being around, especially living with this one, I got firsthand what it's like and like got completely educated more than what I have, more than what I already
Y'all
knew.
got some questions, ask me. You can follow me at 2am Ricky, Twitter, Instagram, music, anything. Contact me. Ask questions. I answer anybody's questions.
And don't be disrespectful now. Let's not.
Oh no, because listen,
I
got a slick mouth, so if you're disrespectful, I'm gonna disrespect you back. I have a bigger platform than you. You do not want me to
I'm just putting that out there. Let's not be disrespectful, but if you have questions, like just ask. Like that goes for anything. Please do not just come and be ignorant. Do not do that. Because hell, I've had to correct people now about this damn coronavirus, because I have a guy that I work with that's Indian that hates Chinese people. It's the weirdest shit to me. Like it's weird. Like this is how I know I have a human rights heart, because I'm like, it pisses me off every time he says it, and I'm just like, dude, first of all, y'all from the same continent. Let's just start there. Second, I'm like, how you gonna sit over here and like say that you don't like these group of people? All because of what's going on right now. Like there's been illnesses coming from different countries all the time. Hell, there's been illnesses that came from here. Like you can't sit over here and like group a certain group of people, because hell, China, did you hear that China's like literally
banning black people?
Banning black people? Like why? Y'all the one that made the shit. So it's like, what
we the one who make y'all money. We buy y'all hair, y'all lashes, y'all.
It's like all of it is stupid. It's just like America and the world's blaming China. China's blaming black people for some reason. And
we get the blame for everything.
It's like, why? Just everybody
don't know who to blame the niggas.
Exactly. Just everybody just listen. I'm gonna need everyone. There's no excuse for you to be ignorant about anything. Google exists. YouTube exists. YouTube is literally a search engine. 9 times out of 10, when you Google something, a YouTube video is going to pop up. So use your resources. There's no excuse. Like I said, it's different for our parents because they didn't have the technology that we did nowadays. So they're a little bit naive to certain things, but that's our job as millennials and Gen Z. Yeah, X or Z. I think it's Z. So for millennials and Gen Z, that's our responsibility to like educate the older baby boomer generation, because they don't know. They don't, I mean, and it's really not their fault, because they did not know. They did not have what we have now. Like I can turn on the TV right now and see a cartoon where one character has 2 dads or 2 moms and stuff like that. That wasn't a thing back then. Hell, there's like people mad that Billy Porter was on Sesame Street right now. Like I said, there's no excuse, y'all. Please educate yourself. Like I said, if you would like to ask him any questions, he's open. He just said that you can ask questions. If you want to attempt to ask me, you can ask me, but your girl probably has to do some research course before I get to you. But I can definitely do that, because I think I've done enough like research and asking questions about the LGBT community in my little lifetime that I can at least answer some stuff. But did you have anything that you wanted to leave with the people? Any advice for anybody that is trans that's probably watching this?
Worry about your own truth. Like when in transitioning, it's the same concept. Just how we talked about how the lesbian community tends to feel like they have to compete with trans people, especially those who may have been known in the community pre-transition or pre-top surgery or whatever. Yeah. But it's the same thing within the trans community. Don't allow what you see to make you judge yourself. Yeah. Like, there are trans men who look like me. There are trans men who are big with beards. There are trans men who are tiny. There are trans men who never have surgery. There are trans men who never take tea. It is not about what you see in someone else. It's about what makes you happy. As long as you look in the mirror and you love yourself and you love the person that you see every morning, that's all that matters. And then as far as anyone in the lesbian community who may have a person of trans experience in their life that you love, you care about, you confused because you don't want this to interfere with your lesbianism. No, it's a real issue. I know someone personally in my life that's fighting that battle. Like, it's a real issue.
Yeah.
You have to realize that the same thing goes for you. You are who you are, regardless of if you love this person or not. It does not change you. Yeah. And the quickest way for us as a community to have more unity is to have conversations.
Yes.
So,
lots of conversations.
Answer your questions.
Boom, straight like that. So I'm gonna end this here because I know this video is a little long, but it's needed. So as always, make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And I will see you guys later. Okay, bye.